It's official. Sam Rivers, the founding bassist and heartbeat of Limp Bizkit, has died at the age of 48. The news broke on October 18th, 2025, when Limp Bizkit posted a short, emotional message on their official Instagram account. There were no headlines, no press conference, just raw grief poured into a few simple sentences that hit harder than any riff they had ever played. Today we lost our brother, our bandmate, our heartbeat. The post, signed by Fred Durst, John Otto, Wes Borland, and DJ Lethal, was accompanied by a single black and white photo of Rivers playing his bass under dim stage lights, lost in the music that defined him. Within minutes, the internet erupted. News outlets from People to Variety confirmed the statement. Hashtags like #RestInGrooveSam and #Limp Bizkit Forever flooded social media as millions of fans struggled to process the loss. No cause of death has been released, and the band requested privacy for his family. But the words in that post said everything that needed to be said. He was pure magic. The pulse beneath every song. The calm in the chaos. The soul in the sound. For more than 3 decades, Sam Rivers had been the silent force behind Limp Bizkit's explosive sound. A man whose basslines made the world move, even when he himself preferred to stay still. Now, that rhythm, the heartbeat of an entire generation, has fallen silent. As tributes pour in from across the globe, one thing is clear. Rock has lost not just a player, but its pulse. Within hours of the announcement, shockwaves spread across the music world. For a generation that grew up on the chaotic anthems of Limp Bizkit, the loss felt deeply personal, as if part of their own youth had been ripped away. Tributes poured in from fellow musicians, critics, and fans around the globe. DJ Lethal, the band's longtime turntablist, commented under the post, "Give Sam his flowers and play his bass lines all day. We are in shock. Rest in power, my brother. You will live on through your music and the lives you helped save with your music, charity work, and friendships." That single message captured what millions were feeling: disbelief, heartbreak, and gratitude. Rock icons responded quickly. Members of Korn, Slipknot, and Papa Roach shared photos of Rivers on stage, calling him the bassist who made heavy music groove. From underground scenes in Tokyo to the metal bars of Berlin, fans replayed My Way, Rollin', and Nookie on repeat. By midnight, the hashtag #RestInGrooveSam had trended in more than 20 countries. YouTube saw a surge in searches for Limp Bizkit Live 1999, Sam Rivers bass solo, and Behind Blue Eyes. Across the internet, old live footage resurfaced, shaky handheld clips of him performing under blinding lights, always calm amid chaos. In Jacksonville, Florida, his hometown, local radio stations paused their programming to honor him. One DJ whispered before playing "Take a Look Around," "He carried rhythm like other men carry hope." The comments section under the band's Instagram post turned into a global memorial. Fans shared how his music carried them through breakups, depression, and lonely nights. Some wrote simply, "Thank you, Sam." No official statements came from the family, and Limp Bizkit made no further comments after their post. But the silence that followed said enough. A silence that echoed louder than any song. The world had lost its groove, and millions could feel the void. Before the fame, before the chaos of stadium tours and platinum albums, Sam Rivers was simply a kid from Jacksonville, Florida, quiet, disciplined, and obsessed with rhythm. Music came early to him. In school, while other kids chased footballs, Sam picked up a tuba. That heavy brass instrument, awkward in the hands of a teenager, taught him one lesson he would carry for life: control the breath, control the rhythm. It was the beginning of a lifelong conversation between heart and sound. As a teenager, he switched to guitar, but it didn't feel right. Then he found the bass, the instrument that didn't scream for attention, yet anchored everything around it. "It felt like home," he once told a local magazine. Bass isn't about showing off. It's about holding the world steady. That philosophy would define his life. In his late teens, while working at a Chick-fil-A in Jacksonville, fate introduced him to a young tattoo artist named Fred Durst. Durst had attitude. Sam had balance. Together, they found chemistry, and in 1994, with Sam's cousin John Otto on drums, they formed Limp Bizkit. The band's early rehearsals were chaotic metal riffs, hip-hop beats, and punk aggression all crashing into each other. But Sam's bass was the glue. He was the calm in the storm, shaping the groove that would soon change modern rock. Unlike many rock stars, Sam never sought the spotlight. While Fred Durst commanded crowds with fury, Sam stood a few steps behind, eyes closed, head low, fingers pulsing with perfect timing. Those who knew him said he was the quietest man in the loudest band. He wasn't interested in fame. He was interested in feel, and how a single low note could shake thousands of people at once. To Sam Rivers, music wasn't noise. It was heartbeat. By the late 90s, Limp Bizkit had become a storm that no one could ignore. Their sound, equal parts fury and funk, exploded through MTV, radio, and arenas packed with kids who found release in chaos. And at the center of it all was Sam Rivers, the man who gave that chaos rhythm. Their 1,999 album's significant other was a revolution. It wasn't just the screaming vocals or heavy guitars, it was that undercurrent, that groove, that made even the most aggressive songs move. From Nookie to Rearranged, every track carried Sam's unmistakable fingerprint. Then came Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water in 2000, a title as wild as its sound. The album sold over 1 million copies in its first week, dominating the charts and cementing Limp Bizkit as the face of nu metal. For every fan who blasted My Way or Rollin' from their car speakers, it was Sam's bass they felt vibrating under their ribs. On stage, he was magnetic without ever moving too much. Fred Durst raged across the platform. Wes Borland painted himself into nightmares. But Sam stood there calm, precise, unshakable. His head tilted slightly forward, his fingers striking with machine-like control. He didn't need theatrics. His playing was the show. Critics often overlooked him at first until they realized how integral he was. Without his bass, the fury would collapse into noise. He was the spine of Limp Bizkit, the quiet discipline beneath the rebellion. In 2001, as the band toured across continents, fans began to chant his name between songs. It wasn't for fame. It was for recognition that they could feel his pulse inside every beat. While others chased stardom, Sam chased precision. And as nu metal conquered the world, he became its silent architect, the heartbeat of a sound that would define a decade. He had turned rhythm into rebellion, and rebellion into art. But even legends stumble. Behind the flashing lights and roaring crowds, Sam Rivers began fighting a battle the audience could never see. By 2015, he suddenly stepped away from Limp Bizkit. At first, the band cited degenerative disc disease, a back condition common among touring musicians. But years later, Sam revealed the truth in an interview. It wasn't his spine that had failed him. It was his liver. "I got liver disease from excessive drinking," he said quietly. "I could barely get through a show. I had to stop before I broke completely." For someone who had spent decades controlling rhythm, losing control of his own body was devastating. The man who once moved thousands with a single groove now struggled just to stand. In 2017, he underwent a liver transplant, a risky surgery that gave him a second chance. Friends say he emerged from the hospital thinner, paler, but alive. Alive enough to feel the weight of every note again. He used that time not for fame, but for reflection. No tours, no interviews, no headlines, just music, quietly written and shared with young local bands in Jacksonville. He became a mentor, a producer, the kind of artist who helped others find their sound even when his own strength was fading. By 2018, he quietly returned to Limp Bizkit rehearsals. The band never made a grand announcement they didn't have to. When Sam walked on stage again, bass in hand, the fans erupted as if an old friend had come home. He played differently now, softer, slower, but deeper. Every note carried the weight of survival. Behind the calm expression, you could sense the pain, the humility, and the gratitude of a man who had seen the edge and come back. For Sam Rivers, music had always been medicine, and for a few more years, he let it heal him one groove at a time. October 18th, 2025. The day the groove went silent. When Limp Bizkit's Instagram post appeared that afternoon, it didn't look like news. It looked like heartbreak. A simple photo of Sam on stage, eyes closed, surrounded by dim red light. The caption, "Today, we lost our brother, our bandmate, our heartbeat. No explanation, no cause of death. Just silence, and then a wave of sound across the world. Within minutes, tributes began to pour in. Korn wrote, 'You taught us groove. Rest easy, brother.' Slipknot posted a black image with a single bassline waveform fading into nothing. In Jacksonville, candles flickered outside the music venue where Sam first played as a teenager. News outlets picked up the story. People, Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, LA Times, all confirming the same tragic fact. Sam Rivers was gone at 48. DJ Lethal's words echoed through social media. Give Sam his flowers and play his bass lines all day. Fans did exactly that, all night, across continents. My Way in Behind Blue Eyes returned to playlists like hymns. Clips from Woodstock 1999, Sonosphere 2014, and Download Festival 2013 flooded YouTube. The comments sections turned into a living memorial, strangers connecting through a shared rhythm. In Long Island, where he reportedly spent his final days, neighbors described him as quiet, polite, always smiling. There was no chaos, no scandal, just peace. A fitting ending for a man who spent his life bringing calm to noise. As the sun set that day, the music world seemed to slow down. Radio stations faded into silence before whispering his name. For once, even Fred Durst, the man who built chaos, didn't shout. He just wrote one line, "We'll carry you with us, always." And that was how the world said goodbye, not with screams, but with rhythm fading gently into the dark. Sam Rivers never needed the spotlight. He didn't chase fame, headlines, or chaos, he chased perfection. And in doing so, he gave an entire generation its rhythm. For millions, his bass wasn't just background sound, it was therapy. Adrenaline, memory. It was that feeling of youth, the defiance, the groove, the release. He once said, "If the bass doesn't move you physically, it's not doing its job." Now, even in silence, he still moves us. To his bandmates, he was the heartbeat. To fans, he was the pulse of their teenage years. To music itself, he was proof that true artistry doesn't always scream sometimes. It simply hums beneath the chaos. Fred Durst summed it up best. Your music never ends. As long as someone presses play on My Way, or hums the line from Rollin', Sam Rivers is still here somewhere between chaos and calm, where every note still breathes. Rest in groove. Sam Rivers 1977 to 2025.